Last year, Wizards of the Coast unveiled a new kind of booster pack, Epilogue Boosters, which were 5-card booster packs of a micro set, were standard legal, and despite only having 5 cards in them, were expected to sell for about the same price as a regular booster pack. To be blunt, Epilogue Boosters were a disaster, so much so that even Mark Rosewater acknowledged on his blog that they were hated by the player base. The problem? Well, Wizards of the Coast was so confident that Epilogue Boosters would be a success that they had already started designing more of them. You see, Wizards works on sets years in advance, so before Aftermath Epilogue Boosters even came out, they went ahead and made an Epilogue set for Outlaws at Thunder Junction. Oops! Once it became clear that Epilogue Boosters were a disaster, Wizards decided to not do them for Thunder Junction as they had planned, but what to do with all those new card designs? They had made an entire micro set after all, and they had kept designing forward, thinking that those cards would be a part of the standard card pool. The solution? Just mash the entire micro set into the main Thunder Junction set as bonus sheets. But wait, how well did this actually work? Now that Thunder Junction has hit shelves, you may already be noticing some unintended issues with the bevy of bonus sheets upon bonus sheets upon bonus sheets that the set has. First and foremost, the addition of all these bonus sheets means that Thunder Junction is a massive set. Packs of Thunder Junction are therefore more confusing, and the format's limited environment is more complicated and less accessible to new players. What's more, the cards in Big Score are exceptionally rare, which means that even the worst Big Score cards carry an artificially inflated price. And because this set is standard legal, that inflated price has real consequences for a format that Wizards of the Coast has already struggled to convince players to invest in. This would have long-term consequences in and of itself, but if Thunder Junction does well financially, and compared to Markov Manor, how can it not, Wizards of the Coast may view the Big Score bonus sheet as a forward fumble rather than a flawed solution, meaning we're more likely to see standard legal bonus sheets more often in future sets. None of this is to say that finding a solution to the Epilogue Booster problem wasn't necessary, but rather I would like to say that the solution Wizards of the Coast chose has some serious issues. And I do feel strongly that many Magic the Gathering players are going to feel the aftermath of these Epilogue Booster bonus sheets for years to come. Blah 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 blah. But first I gotta ask, are your Magic the Gathering cards all nicely organized by set, color, rarity, and so forth? No? Well, it's spring cleaning, so maybe it's your opportunity to finally sit down and organize those dozens upon dozens of Magic card piles that are scattered all over your desk and on the floor next to your desk, and let's be honest, scattered all throughout your house. Organize those cards? Who has time for that? Between working, hobbies, and obligations, it's hard enough to find the time just to cook a decent dinner these days. Well, you can now reclaim that missing time with the help of today's sponsor, Factor. Factor delivers chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals straight to your door. Each Factor meal is ready in about 2 minutes, so there's no time-consuming prep work or messy cleanup required. Factor offers a weekly menu with over 35 options to choose from, including Calorie Smart, Keto, Vegan, and Vegetarian. Meal plans range from 4 to 18 meals per week, and you can pause or reschedule your deliveries at any time. Customize your plan with over 60 available add-ons like breakfasts, quick snacks, beverages, and more. No matter what your food goals are this spring, Factor has you covered. And with all that time you save with Factor meals, you can finally start organizing those card piles, right? Right? Well, no matter what you want to do with all your extra free time, Factor can help you reclaim it. Right now, you can use my link and get 50% off of your first Factor box and 20% off of your next month of orders. Get started with Factor today and start receiving restaurant-quality meals without the hassle. Thank you, Factor, for sponsoring this video. Let's start with the first layer of issues, the bonus sheet problem. Bonus sheets have become a popular way to spice up the limited environment of a standard set since their introduction in Strixhaven. These sheets, when used sparingly, add to the excitement of opening a pack. In addition to the chances of opening a great rare from the main set, you also have a chance to open a powerful card from Magic's history, like Demonic Tutor or Swords to Plowshares. After the success of Strixhaven's Mystical Archives, bonus sheets have become more and more common. Brothers War had an artifact bonus sheet, March of the Machine had a legendary creature bonus sheet, Wilds of Eldraine had an enchantments bonus sheet, and I loved most, if not all, of these bonus sheets. I called Strixhaven's bonus sheet one of the greatest things of the year, and I said the same for Wilds of Eldraine's bonus sheet. Heck, it was better than Commander Masters. But keep in mind the two key factors with all of these bonus sheets. They were 100% reprints, and no set had more than one bonus sheet. Their impact on constructed formats, therefore, was zero, and their limited impact was easy to evaluate. But with not one, not two, but three bonus sheets in Thunder Junction, the big score, breaking news, and special guests, the contents of Thunder Junction packs are confusing even for enfranchised players, let alone new players. And the big score is standard legal with mostly new designs, though there are a few reprints. Breaking news is all reprints, some of which are standard legal, but only if they were already in standard. The other ones, therefore, are not standard legal. Special guests, however, are all reprints, but none of them are standard legal, though they do occupy the list slot as the big score cards, which are all standard legal and are, again, mostly not reprints. Got all this so far? Because it's what's in a booster pack now. All of these cards have different set symbols, but are legal in Thunder Junction Limited, which means you could come across a Vaultborn Tyrant, Stoneforge Mystic, or even Oko Thief of Crowns at your local game store's draft night. All told, there are 271 cards in the Thunder Junction main set, excluding basic lands, plus 65 in the Breaking News bonus sheet, and another 40 cards on the list. That's a grand total of 376 distinct cards that could be opened in any given Thunder Junction play booster. And that's just play boosters. The contents of collector boosters are even more complicated. What exactly are the contents within a collector booster? Well, yeah, no, I'm not reading this. Look at this. I can't read all this. There's no time. And yet there was a time when the contents of a standard booster pack was simple. 15 cards from a standard set, sometimes a basic land. Heck, throw a single bonus sheet in there, but otherwise it's still a simple standard set. Used sparingly, bonus sheets can be a great pinch of spice to throw on a good limited environment. Too much though, and the bonus sheets are bound to overpower your limited environment, no matter how well designed that environment may be. But let's move on from limited and look at the constructed consequences. The big score is standard legal, which means it's also pioneer legal. It's only printed via the list, which means it only appears in 1 out of every 5 play booster packs. But that doesn't mean you have a 1 in 5 chance of opening a big score card. No, you have a 1 in 5 chance of opening a list card, which, remember, includes the special guest bonus sheet. There are 40 cards on the list and 30 cards in the big score. Of those 30 cards in the big score, 3 of them are reprints: Rest in Peace, Grand Abolisher, and Torpor Orb. So 27 of the 40 cards from the list are brand new, standard legal cards that can only be found in the list slot of Thunder Junction booster packs. A 1 in 5 chance of opening a list card in a play booster, and a 27 in 40 chance of opening any given copy of these standard legal big cards. For those who think better in percentages, that's a 13.5% chance of opening any given non-reprint big score card in a play booster. The odds of opening a specific big score card, 0.5%. That's 1 in every 200 play boosters. The result of this rarer than mythic rarity is entirely predictable. Cards from the Big Score are going to be capital E expensive. The cheapest card from the Big Score, a card that would be draft chaff even in a normal set, is Territory Forge. Territory Forge is currently priced at $1.71. To put that in perspective, 239 cards from the main Thunder Junction set cost less than Territory Forge. That includes 2 of the 5 cards from the cycle of rare, enemy-colored Fastland reprints that Standard has been craving since the Ally cycle was printed in Brothers War. And again, Territory Forge is the worst card in Big Score. 15 of the 27 new designs from Big Score currently cost more than $5. 15 cards from the Thunder Junction main set also cost over $5, but that's 15 of 271 rather than 15 of 27. Better yet, let's compare these prices to prices from Aftermath. Just 3 cards from Aftermath cost more than $5, including Nissa, Resurgent Animist, a 4 of in the standard Teamer World Souls Rage deck, where she is single-handedly responsible for 63% of the deck's total cost. If you compare the price of Territory Forge instead, just 9 of the 49 cards in Aftermath are more expensive than that $1.71 price tag. And keep in mind, these prices are for immediately after pre-release. For many of the cards in Big Score, this is the price floor. We don't even know which of these cards are going to be good in Standard yet. The set is brand new. Few people have played with these cards in any constructed format yet. The sword doesn't look particularly impactful in Standard, yet it's currently the most expensive card due to its commander applications. But if you want to put a card from the Big Score in your commander deck, you only have to find 1 copy. If any cards do turn out to be playable Standard cards, and there are several cards in Big Score that look to have that potential, you're likely going to need 4 copies. Cards like Harvester of Misery, Generous Plunderer, Lost Jite, Vaultborn Tyrant, and Pest Control all could easily have Standard applications. There are also several cards that seem like powerful build-around cards for brand new archetypes, such as Simulacrum Synthesizer, Molten Duplication, and Collector's Cage. Tarnation Vista is a land that can tap for multiple mana, always a dangerous design space. Sandstorm Salvager is a powerful Blade Splicer variant that could be a huge deal for some kind of token deck. Heck, Memory Vessel is essentially just Memory Jar. It's not hard to imagine a combo deck of some kind taking advantage of this powerful draw 7 cards effect. The point is this: cards from the Big Score are incredibly rare. Before we even know for sure that any of them are good, they already cost as much as many Standard staples. If any of them do turn out to be strong, the demand for those cards will be astronomical. The format for the next season of regional championships is Standard, which means players from around the world will be trying to get their hands on copies of the best Big Score cards over the next couple of months. If you want to play Standard at your local game store, you're going to need those cards too. But let's be honest, if you have to choose between buying 4 copies of a $15 to $20 Big Score card to finish your Standard deck, or simply playing a different format, which one will you choose? And I think this is a serious problem, especially given that Wizards of the Coast has told us many times now that they want to try to get folks playing paper Standard again. And with Standard rotation shifting to every 3 years rather than every 2, the Big Score's big price problem will haunt Standard players for 3 years. And if any of these cards see play in Pioneer, this big price problem will last forever, or at least until those cards can eventually be reprinted into a more accessible set. And all of this would be bad enough if this epilogue bonus sheet was a one-time deal, but what if it's not? It seems entirely within the realm of possibility that Wizards of the Coast, or more realistically Hasbro, no wait, that's the same thing, either way, will see the Big Score as a big win, as people buy more packs of Thunder Junction than they normally do in search of the strongest Big Score cards. So what if the conclusion drawn from this set is not, wow, what a big mistake epilogue boosters were, and what a big mistake shoving them into Thunder Junction was, but rather, hey, we don't need to put a stack of 30 reprints into these list slots for future sets. Maybe instead we should always have a sheet of brand new Standard legal, rarer than Mythic cards in Standard packs so that we sell more of those Standard packs. Rarer than Mythic, it's the new bonus sheet. To hell with reprints. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully Wizards of the Coast has learned its this lesson about epilogue products, and we have no more epilogue boosters coming down the pipeline that need to be shoehorned into other standard sets via bonus sheets. But unlike with Aftermath, where players could simply not buy the product they didn't like, there's not as clear a set of metrics that Wizards of the Coast can use to evaluate the big score. And again, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Wizards of the Coast should have gone full steam ahead with an epilogue booster set for Thunder Junction. Far from it. Given that they had already designed this set, they had to come up with something to do with it if they're not going to release it as epilogue boosters, but I'm not so sure this was the best solution. Or even if they did want to go the multiple bonus sheet rare, do they all have to be mythic? Keep in mind that Aftermath cards came in mythic rare, ordinary rare, and uncommons, which means that Wizards of the Coast must have landed on this fix before they had printed any of the cards, which means there had to be other options. For example, they could have just folded many of these cards into the actual Thunder Junction set, rather than including them as a bonus sheet. Sure, that would have meant cutting down on some cards from both Thunder Junction and the big score, but is it really that big of a deal? How important was it for Territory Forge to even exist? In Thunder Junction, there are surely bulk rares and other draft chaff that could have been replaced with cards from the big score. And for any cards designed for big score that they couldn't find room for in the main Thunder Junction set, they could have saved those designs for upcoming sets. Did Rest in Peace, for example, really need to be reprinted into Standard in this particular set? Couldn't they have slipped it into Duskmourn? Or, I don't know, just not put it in Standard again? Heck, a lot of these cards didn't need to be Standard legal at all. Several cards from Big Score are clearly designed with Commander in mind first and foremost. Lotus Ring being a prime example. I get that they designed this card and they didn't want to just throw the design away. This is for Commander. Stick it in a Commander Precon. Stick it in the Thunder Junction Commander Precon. I could name a million cards you could swap it out for. Sure, some of those clearly designed with Commander in mind cards may well turn out to be good in Standard, but there's no way that was Wizards of the Coast's primary intention with them. Certainly not with Lotus Ring. And again, these are just suggestions, but my point is that there were absolutely other better options available for Wizards of the Coast to do in order to avoid a financial disaster on the level of Aftermath. But as it stands, Wizards of the Coast appears to have shed their own financial burden and put that burden firmly on the shoulders of their player base. Again. And again, if big score style standard legal bonus sheets become the new norm in Magic the Gathering, well, I hope Wizards of the Coast is prepared for Standard to see even less play in paper than it already does. And that'd be a real shame because Standard is legitimately great right now. But if it gets even more prohibitively expensive, I don't know that I can even advocate that players buy into it. I hope standard legal bonus sheets are a one-off thing. I really do. But if they're not, then this big score is going to lead to one of the biggest problems that Magic the Gathering has seen since epilogue boosters. But those are just my wins on the subject, and now I want to hear what wins come from you. What do you think of multiple bonus sheets within Thunder Junction and the idea of rarer than mythic rares within those bonus sheets? Let me know in the comments below. And remember, why pay all of that money on disgusting lukewarm junk food delivered to your doorstep where it just congeals into a greasy ball of overpriced fat and stuff when you can use Factor meals? Factor meals are delicious restaurant quality meals, and you'll save so much time and money when you go with Factor. Right now, you can use my link to get 50% off of your first Factor box and 20% off of your next month of orders. Get started with Factor today and start receiving restaurant quality meals without any of the hassle. Thank you, Factor, for sponsoring this video.
Next time on Shuffle Up and Play.
We are playing Build Your Own Precon Commander today.
Hi, my name is Jesse Robkin. My commander is Wrath Weatherlight Stalwart.
Hi, everybody. My name is Bobby Christine. I am playing Indominus Rex.
I'm Olivia Gobert-Hicks. I am playing Ariette today.
My Build Your Own Precon is the Master. Above all, now I'm going to mill 3. Garuda!
Having flashbacks.
Garuda! All right, everybody vote. Everybody vote at home.
I will put Command the Dreadhorde on the stats.
Quite a bit of life you're paying
Oh,
there,
gosh.
friend.
You're gonna lose 18 life.
Yeah. Risk it, biscuit.
Girl boss behavior.
Yes.